So while we are waiting to see if more people will join us, let me tell you what's on the agenda for today. Kate will connect us with the ladder of Ascension in Sedona called Bell Rock and tell us about her winter solstice adventures in Sedona with her light tribe. And as 2021 is the year of the Divine Feminine, we will continue connecting with the Divine Feminine. Today we will be connecting with the Galactic Kachina. And let me show you a picture of Galactic Kachina. Okay, so this is artwork by Gudrun Miller, David Miller's wife. And the way she's doing the artwork, she is told by Giuliano exactly what to draw. So she's told how it should look like. And interestingly, just yesterday, I have connected with a woman from Arizona who went this week out to meditate in the desert, and she have seen her with her third eye. So was a Navajo and or is it Lakota? Mike, that's Lakota and Hopi that works with the Kachina, right?
I thought it was Navajo.
Is it Navajo?
Navajo.
Okay.
So, I have Hopi Kachina right here. So
yeah, so their Kachinas are totally differently looking. They have these masks on. This one is shown as a woman because she represents the Divine Feminine. And in one hand, she's holding the earth and in other, the galaxy, because she is an intermediary spirit connecting the galaxy with the earth, anchoring the fifth dimension in third dimension. So she is an intermediary spirit, and that means that she can help us to connect with other higher dimensional beings. So she is a step in between. So we can use her to connect with the Divine Feminine Ascended Masters we work with in the medicine wheel. Well, it's 7 minutes past 1, so I think we can begin. And so welcome everybody. And we open up with connecting with the Galactic Kachina, and Catherine will read for us what Giuliano said about her.
So, so this is asking what is the difference between Shekinah energy and Galactic Kachina energy. So this is Giuliano. The Hebrew definition of divine feminine presence is Shekinah. Shekinah is the Kabbalah word and also the Hebrew prayer word for divine feminine presence that dwells on the earth. And in the Kabbalah, the divine feminine presence has been exiled. That means that the divine feminine presence, because of man's inequities, his evilness, his lack of oneness with the world, his sinfulness, whatever you want to call it, has caused the divine feminine presence to exile. However, on the Sabbath, the divine feminine presence returns for one day, and this is actually the joyfulness of the Sabbath, because the Creator then has the masculine side and the feminine side together. When the Messiah comes, then the divine feminine presence will be permanent. This divine feminine presence is represented in the Native American teachings as white buffalo calf woman. It is our belief that the divine feminine presence concept is what is needed to promote the healing on this planet because the masculine energies have become overly emphasized. The Kachina is the Navajo and Hopi word for spirit intermediary. Kachina is a spirit form that is able to communicate with the other side and this side. So in terms of the Galactic Kachina has the ability to communicate with the central sun and bring that information, bring that energy down to the earth as a spiritual intermediary. And you could look at it just as that, even as a channel or as a medium. You may go to a medium to talk to the dead. You don't have the ability to do that, but the medium does. She is the intermediary. There are many different types of Kachina. There is the corn Kachina, the water Kachina, the sky Kachina. So all these are spirit intermediaries. So that is the different concept from the Shekinah.
Thank you, Catherine.
And let me make that point, that the Hopis have Kachinas, or it's actually their word is Katsina. The Dene, I do ceremonies with them every year. They have appropriated Kachinas, and like Tony Abeda, my artist friend, he paints those, but it's not normally indigenous to the Dene. So yes, it is Hopi, but that's just a fine distinction.
Okay, good. So while the Galactic Kachina comes from the great central sun, here it is said that here on the planet she resides in the San Francisco Peaks near Flagstaff, and that's why we chose to connect with her today, because we will be working with the ladder of Ascension in Sedona. So before I hand it over to Kate, let's go in brief meditation and call in Galactic Kachina, and she will then stay with us until the end of today's meeting. So let's focus on the breath. Be fully present. Opening the crown chakra, connecting with the great central sun, and through our feet, connecting with the multidimensional core of the planet. Expanding into the shape of a cosmic egg. And we call in Galactic Kachina. You can visualize her as on the image, or you can bring her in as white light. So bring in the white light through your crown chakra into your cosmic egg. Feel her presence, her energy enveloping you, and being with you, all through you, flowing through you. This white energy, feel into this presence of Galactic Kachina, and call her in whenever you go into meditation with connect with any of the higher dimensional beings. And now over to you, Kate.
Thank you, Ariana, and everyone. And it's beautiful to be in the presence of the Kachina. I'm going to start by sharing my screen with you, and just give me a second here. And getting this to project. Let's see how I can do this. to full screen. So I went to Sedona. I was called to Sedona on by my guide, my team. I wasn't planning to go, but they directed me to go, and I went, and they told me to go for a couple of weeks and keep my schedule open. And so I went from the 10th to the 23rd of December, and I knew that I would be gathering on this rock, which is a cathedral rock, for at least 3 days, but it ended up we did more ceremonies. So here we are and it was from sunrise until about noon on the 10th, on the 12th, 12/12, 12/13, and 12/14 to open gates. And here we are at sunrise, looking over at the other red rocks and gathering, people gathering on the rock on the first platform about a quarter mile up the trail. We opened grids with crystals and flowers, and we opened gates above the grids that we laid out every day that we were up on the rock. And I wanted to put this one in because here is my, this is my crystal. It's a Sophia Dragon's Tooth crystal. It starts as a smoky quartz and terminates as an amethyst. And that crystal will come in later when we go to Bell Rock, and I talk to you and I share the ceremony that I did there at the Ladder of Ascension. So you can see the grid here, and we opened up a big gate or portal above that, and then held space there every day. We did meditations with the tribe and with the group, and then held space there for hours, just working with the open grid. We were working with ascension energies and unity consciousness. We were releasing codes from the caves of creation. We were activating people as they came up to us, but mostly anchoring in lots of light and unity consciousness for the ascension. Here I am birthing the new earth, apparently. So my body as a conduit just spontaneously went into a birthing ceremony being held by everyone. And some strong energies came through. So I was grateful for that. Once I came back to back into myself again. And this was the group that kind of met up on the Cathedral Rock for 3 days, and then again on the Sunday that week, and just so much love, so much light, and again holding these powerful energies in this time that we're in that called the revelation wave. So that's going to go that where things are being revealed. Just as we see in the mass consciousness this last week, how much is being revealed. We were holding the energy for these revelations, this revelation wave, which is open until January 13th to 15th. Lots of revelations in our personal lives, in our collective, so that we can transmute them and transcend them. And, then the creation wave will continue in the ascension energies. So you can see the smiles on everyone's faces. We were feeling the love and the unity. And like we said, we held space for 3 days in a row doing this. So when I shared with Ariana that I'd be going, and Ariana was a big part of my support because she watched my dogs while I went away. Thank you, Ariana. Ariana suggested that I bury a crystal at the Ladder of Ascension at Bell Rock. So that felt like, so I felt so aligned with that. So I went solo over to Bell Rock while I was there, and took this picture so you could all see where I was, and followed the guidance. I connected with Giuliano and Hilioa before I went, and they guided me to this spot here, to the Ladder of Ascension, to that spot to do my ceremony. And I set up my dragon's tooth crystal. Now, I didn't know that was the crystal that wanted to be buried at the Ladder of Ascension, but while I was overdoing ceremony at Cathedral Rock, the crystal broke in half. And at first I was very sad about that. And then I realized we can't attach to anything. And then the crystal told me, no, this is the crystal that will be buried at Bell Rock. So that's what wanted to happen. And it needed to crack open to release the energies. So I did a ceremony here. It was right at sunset, and then buried the crystal under this shrub, this pine shrub here, facing with the pointy end facing the tip of the rock. It was quite beautiful. And let's see, this is a video of a 360 after I planted the crystal. And you can kind of get a sense of where I was as the sun was setting. Isabella, be quiet. So I can stop the share now. So I kind of wanted to give you all a sense of where I was and what I was doing and what led up to the Bell Rock ceremony, or the visit to the Ladder of Ascension. It was very powerful. And as the sun set, I don't have any pictures of this. The stars came up and we were in the conjunction then. So I saw the conjunction and just felt the energy of the Ladder of Ascension. And it's such overwhelmingly joyful, ecstatic energy at this ladder, which we're going to feel. Hopefully we'll all feel that today as we enter into a meditation. So we'll chat about this after our meditation, but does anyone have any questions of me before I lead us on a etheric bilocation to the Sedona, the Bell Rock Ladder of Ascension? Does anyone have any questions? Okay. All right. Well, let's do it. So we've got the Galactic Kachina with us. I invite you to get comfortable and close your eyes if you're comfortable with that, and prepare ourselves for our trip to the Ladder of Ascension. As there are 8 of these beautiful ladders of ascension across the globe, across the planet, that have been placed here for us as access points for our ascension. And we have them in Switzerland and Jerusalem and Australia and Spain. And we have 2 here in the United States, and also Argentina and Japan. And one of them is in Sedona. So we're only 8 hours away from it physically. It's beautiful, 8-hour drive, but we can go, as we all know, etherically and bilocate. So I invite you to take a couple of deep breaths now in preparation. And we prepare with the breath our bodies to biolocate etherically to Bell Rock in Sedona. As we breathe, we fill our heart with 5-dimensional unconditional love. We call in the 5D unconditional love, and we focus on the unity field, the unity consciousness field. This is a very strong field, particularly in Sedona, as every Sunday we do unity consciousness meditations there every Sunday, 3 times a Sunday. So we've built this strong field. It's across the globe, but particularly in Sedona, and it's very present and very palpable at the base of Bell Rock. And so we extend our connection from our heart, our open heart center, up from the grand central sun, up the highway of the 26 suns, through our galaxy, through the multiverse, all the way to source. where we're all unified, connected at once from our heart to the core of Gaia and source unity consciousness. And we can visualize this unification, this unity, as the perfection of the divine plan, which is all around us. We see the perfection of the divine plan that's all around us. We can also use our etheric crystal or our etheric crystals in our locations. Here in Taos, we have an etheric crystal beneath the plaza. We can call on our etheric crystals now to accelerate our biolocation to Bell Rock Ladder of Ascension. So on the count of 3, and then I will say now, we will biolocate together to the Ladder of Ascension at Bell Rock. 1, 2, 3. Now. Call in and tune into the feelings of ecstasy and joy. There's no other feeling like the feeling of ascension, like how we will feel when we ascend. And these ladders are here for us, for these ascension energies and the ascension codes that are released. Feel the ecstasy and the joy at the base of the ladder of ascension at Bell Rock. We have fifth dimensional light beams emitting down from the central sun. Bathe in the light. Receive this light, the gift of this light, as you prepare to climb the steps of the ladder of ascension. And again, I will count to 3 and say now, and you will climb and we will climb together the rungs of the ladder of ascension at Bell Rock. And you will radiate and we will radiate as we climb as one. 1, 2, 3, now. We are in a grand circle of light. We are in a large family of our light being star seeds. And I will be silent now for us to bask in this light and in this circle and to receive any messages that may come to us. We call on the Galactic Kachina as we're in our circle here up the ladder of ascension. Might she, as the emanation of the divine feminine, have a message for us? We look around. What do we see? What do we feel? What emanates from our hearts? Knowing that our being here has a huge effect for and onto the entire planet. Everything here is magnified. Any intention we set, any intention we hold will be magnified. I invite you to set an intention before we depart and allow some silence for those intentions to be set. And now, as we prepare to depart and climb back down the rungs of the ladder of ascension, we are invited to leave a gift. Leave a gift at the base of the ladder of ascension at Bell Rock. So I invite you now to say your last prayers, thoughts, intentions, and descend the rungs of the ladder of ascension, coming down, coming down. And we as a group now, at the base of the ladder of ascension, on the platform of Bell Rock, facing the rock, we are invited to leave a gift. Perhaps a crystal, perhaps some sort of food, perhaps more thoughts. A short silence for you to leave your gift now. Thank you. Now, as we prepare to shimmer back to our bodies, wherever we left them in our locations, feel the new level of light quotient you have in your light body for this powerful place and this powerful meditation we've just done increases our light quotient. So you carry that with you now, and you emit that to others through your third eye, through your heart center, through your hands, your feet, this new light quotient. And you can return to the ladder of ascension anytime to up your light quotient. So now we will shimmer back to our bodies and find that perfect alignment right above our bodies. Shimmer, shimmer, shimmer. And on the count of 3, I'll say now, and you'll re-enter your body in perfect alignment. 1, 2, 3, now. Looks like everybody's back, except for Ariana. She may still be making her way back. Thank you, everyone. Would love to open it up to hear of all of your experiences at the Ladder of Ascension at Bell Rock. So who would like to share first?
I'll go first, Kate. That was an absolutely magnificent meditation. I loved it. Absolutely beautiful. I felt the energy. I so happened to be fortunate last year when I was visiting Ariana and had the experience of visiting Prescott and all those other places in Arizona. I ended up visiting a friend in Sedona, and it coincided with my birthday. And so both of us, and well, my wife as well, we went up to Bell Rock for the exact time of my birthday, which was very early in the morning. So there was a beautiful energy, and I could feel it. I want to share that when I was going up the ladder, I could feel that joy. I can feel that joy. But more importantly, I felt the joy of being with others, with my soul brothers and sisters. You know, it's like a family. We're going up back, integration, going up to where we came from, to source energy. And I think, if I remember, you mentioned something about sharing a little bit about ourselves. When the image I got as we were climbing is we were all bringing back our experiences from this lifetime, whether it was together or in a group or whatever. We were bringing that back into a pool of consciousness. We were going back to the oneness. And then from that experience, as we were coming back down, the metaphor was we're taking that, we just dropped our experiences in our lives back into this pool of consciousness, and then we're coming back out again. And we're taking a little bit of what everyone else had put into that pool. So we were holographically connecting again. So we're all this oneness. And so that the image I had was of all of us, and I mean humanity, understanding that we all are one and that we all connect. We all have experiences that we've had together, and that every experience in the collective is an experience that I've had that you've shared with me, that I've shared with you. So we're all one. So that to me was really the image that I wanted to see, was the unity and recognition that we're all one, and we're all going back to the same source, and we're all going to be sharing our experiences with one another and bringing that out again. So that was the image. And also the word that came through for me, or the expression, was be love, B-E-L-O-V-E. Be love. That's like a mantra. If I can be that love, well, then that's my radiant, that's my light. That's what I'm giving back. And then as I was going down the ladder, the gift I thought of was, I have the Galactic Kachina here that I got from one of the Group of 40 conferences from the Hopis. And what I was reluctant to let it sit there at Ladder of Ascension. So what I decided to do is I said, forget it. You're not going to keep that. I'm going to keep it. And I have all the energy of the group in here. So from today's meditation, this is what I'm going to put on my altar. And so I want to thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Bob. Oh, that's amazing. Beautiful.
Galactic Kachina here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've heard the same words as I was going up. You are loved, you are loved, you are loved. Be still and receive. And then came the golden light, which merged with the white light of the Galactic Kachina, and we was taking all the way up. And then I heard, open your wings and fly. Be it angel wings or bird wings, open your wings and fly. And what the ladder of ascension is offering us is the power of the overall view. Because when we are climbing up, we don't see up, but from above, we can see what's below. Mm. And then as we go down, we don't have to climb anymore. It's a slide. It's a joy. So I have left a blessing and prayer at the bottom of the ladder of ascension. May everybody in the Southwest be able to expand into their ultimate potential. And may everybody who connect to Bell Rock be able to expand and into ultimate potential.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Anyone else? What can you share?
There we go. I heard the same words of you are love, you are very loved, be love, and send love, radiate love out into the world. And just the sense of the collective consciousness of the planet, where what we're doing right here is really being felt and being sent into the collective consciousness, and we're helping raise the vibration of the planet by joining together and doing this. And that powerful place of ceremony there, I really felt the energy of the Bell Rock. And then when we came down, I left this crystal, the etheric double of this. It was planted on Bell Rock for 3 years. We planted it underneath a juniper tree there. And we left it. And when we came back 3 years later, we were able to retrieve it. So we now have it on our altar, sending us the love of Bell Rock and the energy, the powerful galactic energy that is there on that UFO-shaped rock. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Beautiful. I'm so touched by how palpable love was from those of us who shared the feeling of love and, at the ladder. Beautiful. Anybody else?
I would like to mention that I have noticed that ever since the winter solstice, the energies are more palpable and tangible. Mm. And that's why we are all feeling the same and hearing the same words, because it's really been accelerated.
Beautiful. Well, I just wanted to share. It's a little different experience for me in kind of leading the meditation, but I really felt the bathing in the light of love, the 5D light of love. I felt it like a shower coming down. And I think that I'm still integrating my experience in Sedona because it was so galactic, you know, for day after day. And I had no idea what, besides knowing I was going to do these 4 things, I didn't know what else was going to happen. But as we were all, I also felt the power of our group as one, kind of, Bob, what you were saying. I felt us all going up the ladder together. I felt the unity. I didn't feel any disconnection. And so I feel like everything each of us is saying, all of us are saying, you know, and it was quite something to spend 2 weeks with people who are holding this light all the time, you know, as they're calling. It was very powerful, very powerful. So I just want to thank all of you for being here today and for showing up and going to the ladder of ascension, because I felt all of us as one ball of light and love. It's so fun. So thank you.
Where in the U.S. is the other one?
It's in Nevada. Ariana, do you know exactly where in Nevada it is?
Yeah, it's Carson Valley.
That's right, Carson Valley, Nevada. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to, I also got a new tattoo when I was in Sedona and a Morningstar. I do want to tell this story. So one of the things that happened to me while I was camping in my van in Sedona is I was awoken at 2 a.m. hearing transcribe the codex. I was like, wow, okay. So I had to like research codex and realize it's an ancient text that's handwritten, and transcribe the codex. And then my guides told me I had to find a very specific kind of journal to transcribe the codex in. And it needed to look like an old Gregorian chant journal, you know, the leather bound, like big with paper. And I'm like, okay, but where am I going to get one of those? And my guide said, up the hill. And up the hill from where I was camping, as I was camping on the river, was the commercial area of uptown Sedona. And I said, seems unlikely, but okay. And then I went up the hill and found this. Which is like so Gregorian chant like. So it has the things and the clasps, and you know, you open it and it's got the it's got handmade paper. So this is my project. I'm transcribing the codex, and some of my sisters and I have already been light scribing in it. So I'll keep you posted on that, but that's one of my projects that I'm doing. Wow. And apparently this, which is this art was inspired with I was guided where to go to get a thing. I mean, I was just walking around one day and they were like, go in there and get a tattoo. And this man, and we hit it off, and he's really spiritual. And he gave me holy homework. And so I sent him images of my Navajo rug, and he came up with this original art. And then when my sisters in Sedona saw it, they said, oh, that's your decoder. So I've been decoding things with my new tattoo. So that's what I've been up to. And birthing the new earth on rocks in Sedona. So I'm still integrating, but it's really good to be back and to be back with all of you. And thank you for showing up. Does anyone else want to share? Because if not, I'll toss it to Ariana before I close with the prayer or closing.
Well, I was wondering, I have noticed that on one of the pictures, there was this wheel, and there was these 3 elongated crystals all pointing in one direction.
Yeah.
What was that about?
So those were those are Sandra Walter. I don't know if anybody else knows you, but she was organizing, or she gathered the people on those days. Those were her Vogel crystals, super powerful. And she had them pointing, trying to remember, let me look here. I forget what direction they were pointed. I have to look at my slides. Let me just quickly do that. Here. No. Oh, yeah, here. Oh, yeah. They were pointing. I was here and that was pointing, that was east. They're pointing kind of to the west. You know, honestly, I didn't ask her why she had the crystals pointing to the west. But I had something to do with the gate we were opening and the orientation of the gate. Because the way we would kind of do that every morning is she would stand up on the rock and get guided as to which way to orient the Vogels, and then we built the grid around the Vogels. They went down first, and always brought roses because we were doing a lot of stuff with the rose and using essential Bulgarian rose essential oils. We were working a lot with oils and anointing with oils as well. And then depending on the orientation of the gate, then the master gatekeepers would come out and we would open the gate above. So we were orienting the directions, the cardinal directions, with the portal above, the gate above, and the grid on the rock. And I didn't ask her why she was doing that. She would go up on the rock and pray and then place those Vogels first, and then we would build the grid around it. And then people, you know, put their own, once she built that grid, other people would add crystals as they were guided in different directions. Yeah.
I have something like 4 Vogels now. At one time I had about 14, but I passed them on. I've got 2 of the bigger crystals like that. And then I wear one that's the Star of David Vogel that Marcel would wear. And then I've got another one that's a pendant that I wear, but not often. I'll bring those to when we get together again. They are powerful crystals.
So powerful. Woof. You know, you can really feel them as magnifiers.
Yeah. Did you happen to bring a rock from Bell Rock to add to our medicine wheel?
I did. I'm going to go get it. I actually brought a crystal that is from Arizona that I activated on Bell. Let me go get it. It's a septarian nodule.
Wow.
It's from Arizona, and this is the one that wanted to come back in as trade for the Sophia Dragon's Tooth crystal. And these come from Arizona, and I took it up onto Bell Rock to that spot that I showed earlier. I made another trip back where I was guided the ladder of ascension, and awesome. Put it on the rock and activated it. So we'll add this to our collection. It's really beautiful, actually. People are very drawn to it. I've had a few guests to the house, and I just have had it in the sun and in my window where the sun and the moon can activate it. And people are really drawn to it. So are you all? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ariana.
What is it called again?
It's called a septarian nodule.
Septarian?
Septarian. Septarian. Septarian nodule. Septarian. Are people familiar with this? Because I can share what it's about. It's an ironstone and crystalline calcite combination. It enhances the gift of speaking. It assists in patience, instilling patience, endurance, and tolerance. It also helps with abundance, relationships, and promotes freedom codes.
Beautiful.
And it's really pretty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Septarian nodule.
Septarian nodule.
Kate, I was reading a description here on the internet. It says it also helps with communication with Mother Earth. So
beautiful. There you go. There you
go.
go.
Looks like a dragon egg.
Looks like, yeah.
They come in different shapes, but this one just popped out at me, and I was like, ooh. So Ariana, you have a nice collection. You have a collection of our crystals for TCOL, right? Because you often bring them on. So I want to give this to you for that collection so that we can have them together.
Okay.
When I see you next.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you asked me. I meant to share this and I forgot to bring it out to my altar.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back to the basic assumptions. Are the ladders of ascension the only pathway for ascension, or are there other methods?
No.
My understanding, and Ariane, I really would like you to share, is that they were placed here as access points for us to enhance our ascension or the mass ascension. Is that right, Bob and Ariana, in a simple sense?
In a nutshell, any portal would have the same energy as an entry point and exit point through the different layers of Gaia. So I sent you the video. Did you guys watch the video from Jerusalem?
I haven't watched it yet.
UFO.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it yet, but I will.
So in that video, it's a night sky. You can see the Dome of Rock, and there's the ladder of ascension right above it. And there's a UFO that descends down, hovers a little bit above the dome, and then poof, shoots out back because they miscalculated. It was visitors going to the 5th dimensional Earth, and they miscalculated and came to 3rd dimension, looked around, oops, wrong place, and left.
The aviation community would say you ran out of runway. I remember Juliano used to talk about, the starships, if they came into the 3rd dimension, they'd have to start from Jupiter, and that wouldn't be enough runway for them to slow down. So.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So when the planet Era in Pleiadian star system ascended, they ascended because of similar mistake. The Pleiadians was somewhere out there traveling, and they was returning, went through the Jupiter corridor and was heading back to Era, which was then 3rd dimensional, and they miscalculated. And if they re-entered in a wrong way, it could cause the whole planet or biosphere collapsing. So the higher beings, whoever is overseeing, they decided they're gonna bring Era into 5th dimension so that this Pleiadian ship could enter where they was heading. They was heading to 5th dimension. So that's how Era ascended in Pleiadian system. By decision of the higher overseeing, whatever it's called, that's how they ascended. Because of this miscalculation of entering these realms, I see them like a pancakes or like looking from inside out layers. And then you have the portals, cities of light, etheric crystals, ladders of ascension. They are all penetrations. And then you have to decide, where do you want to go? To which realm of Gaia? So that's the way I see it.
Bob, do you have any other thoughts or additions to the ladders of ascension? Oh, we can't hear you. Yeah, you're muted.
what Mike was talking about, you know, the ladders are a tool to get to the, that are assisting us in our ascension, but also as you start creating your fifth dimensional cities of light, that, and doing your meditations and doing the things that you're doing here in Taos, that's going to help increase your vibration, accelerate that to some degree. So creating the cities of light and being in the fifth dimension on the earth is going to allow you to help you in the ascension process. So when that ascension frequency or when that time comes, you're already vibrating at a higher frequency.
My experience with what they call multidimensional beings or extragalactic or interdimensional, whatever it is, I haven't understood things. I've just experienced. I've done it 2 or 3 times. And then I went to Florida Mayo and asked her, what is this? And she said, it's beings from a blue planet. And they take many forms. And for me, it is multiple forms. They're not humanoid. They're not anything that I would have predicted, if you will. So I think that's the reason why I asked that. You know, we each have our own processes, I feel, that are ideal for us as we grow and progress and move forward in this. And we just have to honor those. My path has been primarily indigenous, but it also includes these other things. I mean, even being here. So I think, you know, we say that this is a standard process, but for me, if I'm from a different star system, I don't know. I mean, all I know is it's been different, and I have to honor that.
It is said that the largest portal is in the Middle East over the Sinai. And that's why we had so many wars there, because they want to own that access point. Yeah. So we had the question and answers on Friday, and I asked about Taos. And Giuliano said that the word Tao is, as we know it from the, you know, from the Eastern philosophies, it means infinity, indefinite. And there are many cities throughout the galaxy that are called Tao, because it means multiple. So there are many galactic cities called Taos, which means infinite. And the reason why some of these, so let's say that people came from somewhere from Europe and brought with them the knowledge of the Eastern philosophies and of Taoism, and they came to our area and realized that this is a auspicious place, very high frequency, very spiritual place, and they called it Taos. And then Taos in New Mexico is in perfect alignment with Arcturus. So when the call was sent out, who wants to be our star sister city? Taos and Arcturus volunteered. And that's how we are both called Taos.
The people at Taos Pueblo, they call themselves the Red Willow people. And they don't know how the word Taos came about. They just say that's what it's called.
Yeah. 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 And then I asked about how can we visualize the galactic cities of light? And he said that they all have those 4 crystals in each direction, because each crystal is then a portal of light, and that creates this, what we are working with, this dome, this high frequency. So when we was downloaded in 2009, at that time, Juliana told us bury crystals in a circle. And that's what we have now. We don't have 4 cardinal crystals in 4 cardinal directions. So I thought it could be maybe auspicious, in addition to what we have already, do another ceremony, choose 4 crystals, and then after the ceremony, go and bury them in the cardinal directions, just like what they did in Santa Fe and Fairhope. And then he said, you can visualize these galactic cities as self-sustained and absolutely, they don't create any sort of pollution as our cities do, right? We create all kind of pollution for the environment. So they, of course, they don't have that. They have free energy and replicators. So that's how we can visualize our galactic sister city with 4 crystals in 4 cardinal points. Each of them is a portal of light. And this pristine environment, no pollution whatsoever.
Are these viewed as clear quartz or something like that, or are they different materials? Or
well, I don't know what kind of crystals they have in Galaxy, but clear quartz is always recommended. But other quartz work as well, but I guess the clear quartz has the highest conductivity.
Sounds like another question for your Q&A in February.
Yeah.
Crystal.
And Bob, would you like to share with us what you asked?
Yeah, I asked, my question was along the lines of how many planetary cities of light do we need to have on this planet to shift the consciousness of the planet? In other words, shift it to another level. And what effect that would have on the ascension of the Earth, and of course the effect it would have on the 5th dimensional Earth. The answer was sort of interesting. It was 140 was the number. And currently we have 67 cities of light and planetary ocean reserves of light. So we're about halfway there. But more importantly, what he shared was that it's important to have the number, but you also need to have the arcane power. In other words, you need to have the thought power. And as important is to have a network. And that network that's really the key, because as you know, from our sister cities network and in the network of the planetary cities of light, that we are mutually supportive. And so we need to be in that, that energy needs to be very strong to affect the energy, the ascension of the Earth. Now, I didn't get an answer on what that's going to do to the ascension of the Earth, or how that would, at least I didn't feel I got it with the 5th dimensional Earth, but I think and he wasn't specific on the shift. But you can only imagine what's happening now is in our own planetary cities of light, we are shifting the consciousness in our communities. So we're seeing changes, we're seeing shifts happen. So I think that that 140, in my opinion, would be, a reachable number. I don't know when that's going to happen. And frankly, I'm thinking that it really tells me as the international coordinator that we really need to work on maintaining the cities of light active in the arcane power and the strength of the network, keeping it going, because, we're having a lot of cities of light right now. We're growing, especially in Latin America, but, we have to maintain that enthusiasm and maintain those cities of light. And that's a big job, in all of our groups to do this, is keep everybody connected. And that's the thing we really have to work on, is the connectivity. We're starting that in the United States, I think, more and more. I think we're going to start seeing more of a connection and more PCOLs. But globally, I think we got a little ways to go. Ariana, you probably could share a lot more on that than I can because you've been in the project longer. We are getting there, but it's not. I don't think we're really a strong enough family yet. You know.
Well, originally in 2009, Giuliano asked for 12. So the original plan was 12 cities of light, 12 pillars of light.
Interesting. Yeah.
So everything is changing because in 2011, he said, all we needed is one ladder of ascension. Now we have 7.
And, you know, 40 groups of 40. And now all of a sudden, you know, we're talking 140. So,
yeah,
you know, it's right. That's right. And, you know, we need more people, starseeds awakened to hold the energy, really. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to do that. Yeah, but that's a real challenge.
Yeah, I think that my sense is that's what. Oh, sorry, Mike.
No, go ahead, Kate. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my sense is you know that we need more. We need this power and more starseeds awaken. All that because the shift hasn't come as quickly as maybe we thought, and it's become intensified on the side that needs to be lightened, which, you know, we're seeing the dismantling accelerate, which we need, but there needs to be more of us holding the light, holding the love, holding the 5D, doing this work. So I'm super glad to see all of us here, but we, you know, I'm with you. I feel that energy, and I can see why maybe the numbers have intensified over the last since 2009, because look at what's going on in the mass collective.
Yeah.
What we need to shift, need to shift. Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
Basil Braveheart is a 87-year-old Lakota elder that I really love and respect. And he put out he's put out about 10 audio recordings. And the last one was a 2-part presentation session on the end of patriarchy. And that's kind of what we're talking about, but in a different perspective. I was going to ask Bob, when you were here, you had a Chintamani stone. Have you been working with that? Because I've been working with mine, and boy, I've really gotten some outstanding results from those things. I mean, it's such a beautiful changes in things that I've asked for. In the Hindu and the Tibetan tradition, they're called wish fulfillment jewels. And so what do you want?
Yeah, Mike, that's just it. I think when I took over this job as the Planetary Seed Light Coordinator, I asked for more planetary cities of light. And now we're growing so fast that, you know, be careful what you ask for. We're going to outdo the model, the business model of the group of 40. I mean, we're really growing pretty fast. And so, no, I agree. And I've been using it a lot. In fact, I meditate with it almost every other day. And I have been using it in the project primarily. And what I end up doing is I meditate with it, and then I do some channel drawings to see what the energy looks like. And I try to, you know, I mean, I'm visual, so I can see the energies. And from the energy, I'm able to get information. So, and then I have a log, kind of like what you have, Kate, but it's not as nice. And it's a logbook, and I start writing questions. And I ask the questions of the Chintamani stone, and I get some pretty interesting answers. Nothing of what I was expecting. It's completely different. But so I think about it, then I get something different. So that's good.
Would you consider sharing that sometime?
Yeah, sure. I'll share it. I would love to. Yeah.
Love that.
You know, let me tell you how I got this stone was Ariana had mentioned I don't know if you remember this, Ariana, but you had mentioned this.
Yeah.
And in one of your emails, and I got very curious about it. And one thing led to another, and $800 later, I can't remember how much I paid for this thing, but I got my return on investment, Mike. It's wonderful.
I agree. I've got 4 now, and I've kind of drawn on yours. I don't have that one, but I've drawn on yours as energy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got one of these. I can't. Let me see if I can show you. Well, you can't. Can you see that? I got one of those stains.
Let me close this. I'm just sharing one of your artworks.
Oh.
And that's the Arcturian temple, right, Bob?
Yeah, that was the temple that came through when we were together. I think it was before I showed up there.
Yeah.
And it was the image that was used to develop the meditation that we used for our sister cities connecting Fairhope, Taos, and Santa Fe. So, yeah, pretty cool. I love that picture.
How do you spell the crystal that both you and Mike are speaking about?
Money, I think, is Cinta. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. Cinta, Tamai.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It is, but also you'll see it as CH. And if you look at Tibetan thangkas, you'll see these colored circles, which are what we're talking about. They're different colors, and they're surrounding the figures. They're coming down from heaven.
Right. This is, I think, Ariana would have mentioned this or somebody. These are the planetary cities of light. This one was specific to the planetary cities of light. It was. Yeah, that's wonderful.
That's what the woman she was in Las Vegas. She's moved back east now. I don't know where she is, but she was the one that had those. Right. I just couldn't afford any more.
I remember I got this as a Christmas present. I'm not going to push my luck. I may be able to get another one. Can I have this, please? Gotta ask permission. Yeah. I love them. Yeah. And you know, sometimes when I come in, this is interesting. I'll come in the morning early to meditate, and the light will be on. It's off, but the light on the stand is on, and I didn't leave it that way. I always turn it off. So interesting.
What the woman that provided those as the intermediary with from Thailand, she said they liked the light. So yes.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. In fact, I had it this morning. Not to keep you guys, but I had it this morning in my medicine wheel downstairs. I just put it in the center, just to activate her, just to to bring some more energy in there. So, yeah, it's quite a thing. I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. It's good to see everybody. Thank you very much.
Much love. Thank you all. Good to be together.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you.